Build more schools, less jails. Build more schools, less jails. Build more schools, less jails. Kamala Harris, oh man, what an incredible liberal, huh? What an incredible liberal. Build more schools, less jails. Build more schools, less jails. Build more schools, less jails. That whole speech that she made, that was actually the best part. It's like she's being fun, she's being playful. Here's the fundamental problem with that. We need more jails, less schools. I said it the exact opposite. Incredible how you could go from your ideal protesting self to the exact opposite fucking piece of shit self. And then people want to say she's too left wing, huh? So the Republicans want more schools, less jails. No, the Republican status quo is to build more fucking jails and less schools. Why do we have public schools? No, why should my tax dollars go for public schools? Why should I have to pay for other people's education? That's the Republican position, right? Less taxes, less regulations, smaller government. Why should I have to pay for a post office or a goddamn road? Why should I have to pay for any of the things that society has? Why should I have to pay for a park? Why should I have to pay for a goddamn school? We need more jails. We need to throw more people in these jails. So when people call Kamala a liberal, she's a Democrat, certainly. I'll give you that. Kamala Harris is a Democrat. What was it Haas says? Haas says that the Democrats lost and the communists won. That's who won, the communists? What are we talking about? Words have meaning. Words have meaning. So let's talk about the meaning of words, okay? So I'm going to define liberal for you. Here's what a liberal is. A liberal is a person who has heart. And a liberal is a person who wants change. And a liberal is a person who cares about the community. Where did I get these definitions at? Well, you have that quote that was attributed to Churchill. If you're not a liberal by the time, if you're a conservative, if you're not a conservative by the time you're 30, you have no brain. But if you're a liberal beforehand, if you're not a liberal and you're under 30, then you have no heart. So that's a liberal, right? They are the ones with heart. Conservative are the ones with brain. And when I think about heart and brain, really I think about money, right? So I could say maybe fiscal conservative. So a liberal will say, oh, spend money for everybody all over the world all the time for everything. Well, you don't really have, infinite amounts of money. So that doesn't, that's not a smart plan. But if you had universal basic income, that would create efficiency. You could get rid of a ton of fucking welfare programs that aren't working. A bunch of criminal motherfuckers, a bunch of lowlife piles of shit. If you're working class or if you're middle class, you can't get any kind of welfare. You can't get no fucking Medicaid. You can't get nothing. So you go in there with your working class self and you're like, hey, my kids are starving. I lost my job. All I need is food stamps for a month. Well, fill this out, fill that out. Up. Looks like you fucking failed. What is the fucking point of you pieces of shit? Jesus Christ, I'm not living off the fucking system. I'm goddamn working hard. I'm obeying the rules. What the fuck is the matter with you motherfuckers? That's exactly who the food stamp program should be for. The communist one? If you think about Donald being a liberal, in a way he is a change candidate, but to batshit crazy land. Does he care about the community? No. Does he have heart? He used to talk about universal health care. He's not a fucking liberal. So, conservatives have a brain. They care about the individual. And actually, I think I'm actually putting more meaning behind both of these terms than most people. And they're for the status quo. Well, that's interesting now, isn't it? If Donald is the change candidate, then he can't also be the status quo candidate. So he's going to change things for the fucking batshit crazy land people. So, Hitler, right? Hitler, November 8th and 9th, 1923 in Munich, Bavaria. Adolf Hitler, along with General Ludendorff, he attempted a coup d'etat. He tried to overthrow the fucking government. Fucking Adolf Hitler tried to overthrow the fucking government in 1923. And then in the 1932 presidential election, Adolf Hitler is going to come in second place. And while that could be losing, that would be the loser in America because we got a winner-take-all system, Hitler's going to get appointed chancellor because of his second place Democratic achievement in 1933. So within 10 years after his coup d'etat, he's the chancellor. So I guess coup d'etats just show a fighting, a winning spirit. Okay, yeah, he tried to overthrow our government with violence. But you know what? Fuck everything and fuck principles. Who gives a shit if we have democratic elections? Sometimes you just gotta overthrow a fucking Munich Bavarian government over with violence. Man, I can't just sit here and goddamn motherfucking talk this shit anymore. I can't sit too long because you got your fucking, it cuts off your blood circulation. How do people fucking drive for like hours and hours and hours without your blood circulation not being cut? You got nice cushions. Is it better cushions? Let's see if I get a better cushion if this helps. Because technically that should help, but then that's got to cut off some sort of, oh great. Now I'm going to have to fucking shout. 3 branches of government. How do you stop tyranny in America? You got 3 branches of government. You got the rule of law. You got constitutionalism. You got the Bill of Rights. You got elections. And you got federalism. And they were all designed to stop tyranny. Only anti-fascism and communism and classical liberalism can defeat fascism. Neoliberalism is out. Neoliberalism. So let's do a bunch of goddamn imperialism. Let's pretend we're a bunch of fucking capitalists. Let's try to out-capitalist the Republicans. Let's try to out-conservative the Republicans. Let's be more fiscally conservative, more about the individual. Well, not really. Just keep the individual out. But let's maintain the capitalist status quo and the imperialist status quo. The Clintons in the 90s did welfare reform. They did the crime bill. They went ahead and bombed Serbia, Sudan, Somalia. What about any of this is fucking liberal? Joe Biden has been a goddamn right-wing conservative since the motherfucking 1950s. He was a segregationist. So the segregationist is a fucking liberal? So either be anti-fascist, be communist. Is that what he meant? Since the Democrat lost, communists won because the idea of communism is better? Or democratic socialism? I like that better, but I just say communism because that's a catch-all term for, instead of saying leftist, liberal, isn't it really communism versus capitalism? So when I think about the community, what is communism? Just care about everybody. Get everybody food. Get everybody some shelter. Care about the community. Care about the economics of the community. And if they don't have food and water, give it to them. But communism also built a bunch of gulags, and there were authoritarianism under Stalin. So communists built a bunch of gulags, a bunch of fucking prisons, and then they also had the farm collectives. A bunch of poor-ass peasants has to get into a bunch of farms and make a bunch of food for you assholes. And then build a bunch of fucking prisons for anybody who doesn't want to do the farm collectives. So what could stop tyranny? Anti-fascism, communism, and classical liberalism. Those are the only 3 things right now on the table. Rush Limbaugh, when I was real young, he would just bitch about the liberals. And what liberals were he talking about? The Clinton liberals, the 1990s liberals. Well, the liberals want to kick people off of welfare. The liberals want to stop criminals and more cops on the street. The liberals are awful. The liberals want to bomb everybody. The liberals believe in imperialism. The liberals are to blame. Bill Clinton, Mr. fucking NAFTA, welfare reform, crime bill, Sudan, Somalia, Serbia. That's a liberal? Get the fuck out of here. That's a right-wing conservative. But if we just keep shitting on the liberals, I only know 2 goddamn people that's ever defended liberals. Only 2 people that's ever defended the word liberal. You know the Overton window? You've had liberals and conservatives have been debating the whole time. They did Tiberius Gracchus land reform, but then once you give land to the peasants, and then they didn't start producing and the economy didn't turn right around, well, he did too much. You passed out too much damn land, and it didn't change shit. Abraham Lincoln passed all that land out. You think any of them bastards with the Confederate fucking flags over in the West? The West? Why would Nevada have a Confederate flag? Why would there be Confederate flags in Montana? You are so fucking north, it's not even funny. Bunch of rural ass fucking sons of bitches. When it comes to genocide, when it comes to homelessness and police brutality. Yeah, when she ran against Bernie Sanders, she was liberal. When she ran against Donald Trump, she was conservative. She's going to go to the border and she's going to pass that border bill. She's going to have the most lethal military ever in the world. Liberals versus conservatives have been debated since the beginning of time, because sometimes you got to focus on the whole community. Sometimes you got to focus on the individual. Sometimes you got to have heart. Sometimes you got to have a brain. Sometimes you got to maintain the status quo, and sometimes shit needs to change. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes shit needs to change. Donald has never condemned fascism. Donald has never condemned the Confederacy. On November 5th, 2024, John Wilkes Booth won the presidency. Being against fascism, if you say you're anti-fascism, well, that's a double negative. That means you're a fascist. You see them damn people over there, well, they hate fascism. Well, what's your problem with them? Well, they hate fascism, and I hate them. Why? Because you're a fascist. So when you sit there and shit on the fucking liberals, Jimmy Smits and Al Franken. Al Franken lost his Senate seat because he had a picture, with a woman acting like he was grabbing her tits when she was sleeping. Oh my God, that's the fucking, holy shit. How are we going to get past this? How can we fucking, goddamn, motherfucking Kristen Gillibrand, oh my God. So Al Franken's defended the word liberal. Jimmy Smits on the West Wing's defended the word liberal. I don't know any fucking Democrat that has defended the word liberal. Joe Biden has been a right-wing conservative. No fucking doubt about it. Now Kamala, she has some progressive fucking, breadcrumbs. But they asked her, are you a socialist? How progressive are you? They say you're the most liberal in the fucking Senate. She laughed. She outright laughed at that. You think I'm a socialist? You think I'm progressive? Build more schools, less jails. Build more schools, less jails. Build more schools, less jails. Liberal v. conservative has been debated since the beginning of time. Sometimes you gotta change shit. And sometimes you gotta keep things the same. Keep the good things the same that are working and change the shit that's not working. Abraham Lincoln was a liberal Republican. The great emancipator, LBJ, integrated America. Liberals have changed things. Social Security, food stamps, Medicare, these came from liberals. What we need is a Bernie Sanders in the rock swag. We need a Bernie Sanders in the rock swag. What a perfect self-fulfilling prophecy. If you scratch a liberal, you'll find a fascist. I saw that person, he said he was loving and kind and inclusive, and then I started scratching him. I scratched him and I took a rock and I threw it at him, and then he fucking picked the rock up and threw it back at me. I went up and I scratched him, and then he smacked me in the face. Well, who's the fascist now? I said. I fucking smacked him, he smacked me back, and then I said, well, who's the fascist now? Are you kidding? You scratch anybody, you deserve to get smacked the fuck up, smack the fuck out, smack the fuck up and out, shit on the liberals, and then turn around and say, hey, how come everybody's a fascist? Because we're in a right-wing fucking country. We're in a right-wing fucking fascist fucking nation. The reason why the people on the left are shitting on liberals and the people on the right are shitting on liberals, because you're all a bunch of right-wing fucking fascist motherfuckers. And you have no heart, and you don't care about the community, and you don't want change. You want to keep it all the fucking same. Others say they're not liberal because they're centrist, like Butch Ware. Well, which is it? Some people say they're not liberals because, well, I'm a communist, so my ideology is not just left. It's so far left, it's not even funny. Well, what about authoritarianism? Are you an anti-authoritarian communist or are you a pro-authoritarian communist? You piece of shit. I'm a left libertarian. So therefore I believe in individual freedom, but I also believe that the government should give a damn about our fucking homeless. But they shouldn't be the big fat fucking government. They shouldn't be a big communist Stalinist government. I'd rather you be Marx. Marx is an author who just inspired people. He didn't tell anybody what to fucking do. So some people will say they're not a liberal. These are people on the left, okay? Everybody that's conservative or right-wing, this video is not for you. Yeah, you're going to shit on the liberals because that's the opposite of who you are. So I feel the need that I have to be a liberal. Living around here, well, I'm not going to be a racist piece of shit. It doesn't matter how many fucking Nazi flags and Confederate fucking flags and how many people want to spout off the N-word. How many psychopath pieces of shit around here who want to say that they judge a person not by their character, but by the color of their skin. I don't give a damn how many fucking times they say it. It's fucking wrong. It's wrong. And so because there's a bunch of Confederate Nazi fucking flags, a bunch of assholes who like to spout off at the mouth about the N-word, I'm going to be the only liberal in town. I'm going to be the only one that thinks with my heart, cares about the whole community, and wants change. It's a perfect self-fulfilling prophecy. You shit on the liberals and you turn around and you say, look, why is everybody a fascist? Because you made it that way. You made it that way. You shit on the one fucking liberal in town that wasn't a Confederate fucking piece of shit. What the fuck am I supposed to? I've already had to think about this before. If you got a bunch of racist fucking shitheads on the left and a bunch of racist shitheads on the right, well, you're going to have to be an anti-racist in spite of everybody. So you have to be the only fucking liberal in town, the only person with a fucking heart in town. But that's not easy. That's not fucking easy. So when people want to fucking shit on the fucking liberals, it's like we're not using... I need to talk to people that are using the same definition of words as me. I need to talk to people that are using the same definitions of words as me. So some say that they're not a liberal because they're socialist. Some people say they're not a liberal because they're a centrist or they're a fucking conservative. I think you're all a bunch of conservative fucking pieces of shit. So, Humanist Report, Graham Elwood. I'm not a liberal because I'm a communist. Oh yeah, a communist that just sits around and fucking shoves a thumb up his ass. Yeah, you're not really a fucking communist if you just sit around with a fucking thumb up your ass. And then a socialist is supposed to have heart. Let's compare and contrast. When it comes to having a heart, when it comes to being for community, when it comes to being for change, what's a socialist supposed to be? A socialist is supposed to have heart. A socialist is supposed to give a damn. A socialist is supposed to give a shit about the community, and a socialist wants change. A socialist wants change. So liberals are supposed to be bleeding hearts. They're supposed to care about everybody. They're supposed to want food, water, clothing, and housing for everybody. They want community to be protected. They want to have bleeding hearts. They want more schools, less jails. A true blue liberal wants more schools, less jails. I once heard that for every dollar you spend in education, you save $2 when it comes to prisons. So by spending more money in education, you're actually saving money when it comes to the prison industrial complex. So Butch Ware, he's not a liberal because he's a centrist. Okay? Graham Elwood, he's not a liberal because he's a socialist or a communist. So which is it? You're not a liberal because you're on the right. You're not a liberal because you're on the left. If you're on the left, then to me you're a fucking liberal. If you're truly on the left, you truly want change. Do you truly care about the community? Do you truly have heart? Do you truly have a fucking heart? Because a lot of people in this fucking country don't give a shit. You're going to sit there and try to get people to vote for fucking genocide? There's nothing liberal about Joe Biden in the fucking slightest. He wants everything to stay the same. Does he care about the community? No, he doesn't. Does he care about change? No, he doesn't. Does he have a heart? He pretends to have a heart. He's not a liberal. He's a fiscal conservative. He cares about himself, the individual, and he's all about the status quo. Nothing is going to fucking change. What's changed under Joe Biden? Not a goddamn thing. Nothing has fucking changed. Nothing has fucking changed under Joe Biden. Where's the universal health care at? Are we going to end some wars? I'm sure he's going to declare a war on poverty and start building housing for the homeless soon. Yeah, right. Shut the fuck up. He has changed not a goddamn thing. What about that public option? Is that public option coming soon, Joe Biden? So, a lot of these assholes, even if they think the Humanist Report, he acts like he's socialist or something. Well, the damn liberals, Democrats aren't fucking liberals. And Donald Trump isn't a communist, Haas. Words need to have meaning. You know, if it makes more sense, if you want to call the Democrats, I think the conservative, but you can call them neoliberals. And what did the neoliberals do? Well, they give fucking, they just speak a fucking good game. They just say, oh, I feel your pain and I care about you. Oh, okay, yeah, the people of Gaza, I know, I hear you. I'm listening. The neoliberals are the shit libs. So if you're talking about neoliberalism, if you're talking about the shit libs, that makes sense to me. Neoliberalism is out. I think liberalism, classical liberalism, communism, anti-fascism, I think that these things are the only things that can defeat fascism. The communists in Germany couldn't stop fascism, so the only thing that would have beat fascism in Germany are the anti-fascists. And then World War II, you saw it was Russia, the communists, that fucking stopped fascism. Stopped Germany right in its fucking tracks. So I don't know why nobody uses the word liberal correctly. We need to have definitions for our words. A fascist is a piece of shit that will use violence in order to get their ends. Totalitarian is a person that controls the whole society, including your very thoughts. That's totalitarian. And a conservative is a person who thinks with their brain, cares about the individual, and wants to maintain the status quo. A liberal wants change, cares about the community, and thinks with their heart. So Donald doesn't have a heart. Donald doesn't care about the community. He does want change, but he's going to fucking change it into batshit crazy land. The Democrats are the conservatives, and the Republicans are batshit fucking crazy. So Kamala Harris, Joe Biden. Kamala talked, a bunch of liberal things when she was running against Bernie Sanders. She wanted to beat Bernie. So she wanted to pretend that she was farther left than Bernie Sanders. And then when they said, hey, are you a progressive? Are you a socialist? She just laughed right in their faces. Barack Obama. Barack Obama ran the country as a Ronald Reaganite. He said so in his own words. How'd you run the country? Just like Reagan did. Hubert Humphrey wanted to change. He wanted Vietnam to end. He didn't care about the Vietnam War, but he didn't want to buck his butthole master, LBJ. So that's Kamala Harris. Hey, Kamala, is there anything that right-wing incrementalist Joe Biden has ever fucking done that you gave a shit about? That did he do anything wrong? Not a single thing. I can't think of one fucking thing that Joe Biden did wrong. Not a single fucking thing. Hubert Humphrey wanted a change in Vietnam, but he didn't speak up. He didn't say so. And he didn't want to buck his butthole master, LBJ, and then he spoke up too fucking late. He wanted to end the Vietnam War. Hubert Humphrey could have fucking won that election. LBJ needed to have a puppet, a little fucking bitch-ass fucking nobody that he could manipulate and control. Hubert Humphrey in 1968, that's the best you all could have fucking done. In 1968 was Hubert fucking Humphrey. Jon Stewart, AOC, Bernie Sanders, this is the ideal dream team. This would be true blue progressive liberal. socialist, democratic socialist. We need an MLK, a rock star. We need a Bernie Sanders in the rock swag. Anti-fascist leftists are needed. Communist, fascist, communist, anti-fascists are needed. And neoliberals, you're fucking out. You're fucking toast. You're fucking cooked. Neoliberals, you assholes who want to pretend that you're a fucking left-wing, but you're really a right-wing conservative bastard who wants fucking status quo, who doesn't give a shit about the community, who has no fucking heart. We don't need neoliberalism anymore. We need actual true blue liberals, true blue people on the left, people that'll stand up to fascism, be against fascism, be anti-fascism, be communist in the sense that you care about the fucking community. You care about your whole neighborhood. You care about your whole street, your whole family, your whole state, your whole country. We need people to give a fuck about all of us. Donald's going to give a fuck about just himself and his voters and, of course, the billionaire class. So he'll care about those who kiss his ass just so he can piss on their faces like a rock star. But ultimately, who does he care for? Who does he work for? The goddamn billionaires. The goddamn billionaires. Gracchus Tiberius, he wanted land reform for the poor folks, and land reform didn't work out the way he wanted it to. So I believe in individual rights, but I also believe that the government should build houses for the homeless. So when it comes to, that's another thing. It's not just left-white, it's also authoritarian or freedom, libertarian or authoritarian. So whereas Kamala and goddamn motherfucking Donald, they're up in the right quadrant. They are neither libertarian nor are they left-wing. They're right-wing authoritarian piles of shit. So politics is on a grid. It's not just left or right. There's also up or down. As a left libertarian, I think the government should spend money on the poor and give a damn about homeless, but I also believe that they should not bother individuals. So we need communists that care about the whole country, but they're not going to stop one person from speaking, or their right to peacefully assemble, or their right to petition. Communists who want to feed everybody, but they're not going to fuck with the Bill of Rights and not going to fuck with the individual freedoms. So I'm a left libertarian. I'm a left libertarian, which makes me the exact opposite of Kamala, which makes me the exact opposite of Donald, which makes me the exact opposite of everybody who's ever ran for president my entire life, except for Bernie. So anybody, the Republican versus Democrat, all those elections, Republican v. Democrat, has always been right-wing fucking authoritarian bastards. Where are the left libertarians? You tell me which one's been a left libertarian. I care about Gaza, bitch. I care about Malcolm's autobiography. I read his autobiography in one setting, bitch. I fight the good fight by my fucking lonesome every goddamn day, bitch. Malcolm is a great thought leader. Liberal v. conservative has been debated since the beginning of time. Sometimes shit needs to change. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you need to think with your fiscal conservative brain. Sometimes you need to think with your heart. Okay, well, the Good Samaritan. What will happen to that person if I don't help them out? The Good Samaritan. Oh, shit, this person has no clothing. If you have no food or water, what are you going to do about it? Just forget about yourself? No, if you don't have food, water, clothing, housing, get yourself some food, water, housing, and clothing. I'm not for sure when it comes to Malcolm X. A lot of liberals like Malcolm X. They love him. And I think it's because a black man in a white supremacist America is giving it to the dominant class. So hell yeah, black man. Malcolm X is a thought leader. He taught me how to be a man. Stand up, defend yourself. Don't ask for freedom, you take it. If a man lays his hands on you, you send him to the cemetery. But in Malcolm's time, he was killed in 1965. The liberals were the Kennedys. And JFK had manhandled MLK's 1963 march to D.C. So white people can be two-faced. But Malcolm was killed by Elijah Muhammad. So you're going to tell me what? Muslims who have blackface can't be two-faced? He was killed by Elijah Muhammad. So when I hear the black revolutionaries shitting on liberals, they're shitting on all white people because you're racist. Malcolm was a black nationalist. He proposed that black folks should separate from white folks. So he was opposed to integration. Just like Joe Biden. Malcolm X was a segregationist. So was Malcolm X a conservative? In some respects he was. To deny this obvious truism is to deny reality. It's so suspended in the narrow Overton window between red versus blue. There are no conservatives in America. There are no, God damn it. There are no liberals in America. America's a right-wing fucking fascist fucking country. People on the left and people on the right shit on the liberals because this is a right-wing fascist fucking country. More coming up later.